Hey there, friends. It's Gun Gaming here. I had recorded over an hour's worth of content for you guys this week that was going to sequentially walk you through a bunch of steps, and it was really cool, and now I've lost all motivation to do it all over again because my mic wasn't working properly. But don't worry, I have new stuff. I'm going to talk with you guys about it. But the big thing I want to address this week are those of you who feel really stuck. I think that this is probably where the game is going to lose the most players is once you get to around level 35 or so and you have to fight Crossbones. That Crossbones ends up being like your first real boss. Vision can be a little bit tricky, but once you get him to the big stage, his attacks are fairly easy to dodge. He's easy to hit. Crossbones moves around a lot, and you have to beat him twice, and you don't really expect having to beat him twice. Whereas like with Vision, he goes from 3, once you get him down to like the 2 bar, because every boss has 5 stacks of health bar, and once you get him down to 2, then he kind of just, they move over to somewhere else, or they do something special, or they activate a new ability. For Crossbones, you have to beat him down 5 stacks, and then he sends in a Dreadnought, which is a pain in the butt, an Ubernaut rather. And then while that Ubernaut is kicking your butt, Crossbones all the while is shooting AoE attacks that you have to constantly dodge. And, it was really frustrating for me. And what I want to do here is start you off in the end game in this video, and then I'm going to walk backwards to a brand new character and talk through some of the things that I think are really important. So first things first, I know I've covered this before in videos, but you're not going to get a regional set. And if you're somebody who's stuck in the early game, banking on a regional set is one of the worst things that you can do. And I'm going to walk you through why that is. So for every hero, the base stats on armor are a little bit different. For Black Widows, hers line up really well in that you get a base attack increase, a critical damage increase, and then you get a set bonus for a specific skill. And I have long heralded the importance of the Fear Itself set, also known as like the Red Widow set. These are really strong, and you see here I only have one 5-star piece, and on my helmet it's suggesting me that I transition to this 5-star piece. So oddly enough, this is like Fear Itself, but then they've created Fear Itself as a separate one. I don't really get it personally. I don't know why or how they're describing this, but you want to get the set that's going to give you the most benefits. And the reason why I'm not upgrading to this 5-star piece is because the gains I would get from this 3% attack are nowhere near the value I'm getting from this attack right here is 3.4%. So that's higher already. I mean, technically I could get another set of this one and then it would be equal. But just comparing this 4 to 5, that right there is already pretty good. Now, the critical damage is 27.7%, and when you only have one piece that shows us 0.7, that's going to go up by each piece included. So we'll see if we can get a separate set lined up here just to show you guys. I think this might be the only Fear Itself I have. But we have this spacesuit set. So here I'll apply this spacesuit. And we'll apply this spacesuit helmet. And when I click on this, you can see we've activated the attack percentage here. Here's the spacesuit bite. And you see the crit damage is plus 7% here. So not great. I don't know why it is that way, but it is that way. But here we're seeing Trap Expert skill gone up to +1. So that +7 is just for level 1. That's where it's set at. So here you'll see this says +7. We'll equip this, and then we'll equip all of our higher gear. And this hair. All right, so I just put on the 2 stars, so you can see here that the crit damage is keyed to, I think, like the average. I'm not 100% sure how it's working, but I think it's the average of the whole set. And the average of the whole set here is, like about 3 stars. Right, so 8, 13, 15 divided by 4 is like 3.3. So it's like 3.3 stars worth of crit damage. But as soon as I apply this one, we're going to jump up to 27. So the main point of this is work on an armor set that is going to give you a skill increase. But even if you don't, like, I know you're going to get the sparkly helmets that are like the Hydra helmet here, and that gives you a plus 10% buff to your attack. Well, that's going to reduce the value of your critical damage because it's not adding to that average star count for the set that you have equipped, right? So let's say here I apply this one here, then I'm only getting 22.6% as it's dropping down my total score. I'm not 100% sure how that's calculated, but I do know that I'm missing out both on, so it's 4.6 attack, I'm down 0.8 attack here, and down 0.5% critical damage. So even though I have a helmet with a higher base stat and a pretty good critical damage score because it's level 5, it's not enough that it actually balances out the lower stats alone, let alone this plus 5 here. And I'll walk you through how much of a difference this makes as we go into skills, firearm expert. So you're seeing 1122. Let's jump right back in. Here, we'll swap out the head. We're going at plus 5 skill levels. And as soon as I get these other to level 5, I think it goes to plus 6. Jumping in, so it was 1122, and here it goes up to 1313. So almost a 200% damage increase. For me, that's almost 100,000 points of damage once you modify with the crit damage increase and with Black Widow's ultimate ability, which gives you that increased damage percentage here as well. That is a multiplier effect on top of the base damage multiplied by the number of damage percent increase that the skill utilizes. So do a lot of heavy math there, but the long and short of it is that it ends up being like 100% damage. I just upgraded that piece today and noticed I went from hitting around 300% on most wanteds to 400%. 400,000 damage. So, and I'm just over 400,000 power. I am not the biggest character you're going to see. And to all of you who feel like, oh, I missed the train, I didn't get on global launch. I missed 2 weeks on my server where I went on vacation, and I don't regret it. I was not going to bring around like a laptop while I was on vacation, seeing family for the first time after we all got vaccinated. I wasn't going to bring my laptop with me to log into the VPN to play a game that was made to be played on a phone. That didn't sound like a good way for me to spend my vacation. You do you. That's not how I did mine. And I don't regret it at all. Sure, I was a little bit behind. I had to get back into my alliance with a 24-hour cooldown. But those were semantics that you guys probably don't care about at all, and I'm not going to go into a lot of detail on. But the long story short here is just simply that you can catch up, you can still have a lot of fun, and if you basically the amount of time you didn't play will set you back a little bit in terms of the progression calendars and getting that 5-star gear piece after 28 days. But this isn't like other games where it's marked by days in the month. The login calendars are purely the days that you log in. Missing a day will not disable you from claiming the next day, so you don't have to build a streak. It's a fairly chill game if we're being honest, and missing out on a few days of stuff isn't going to sink your account. I think the biggest difference that you're going to notice is basically the people who are willing to spend hundreds of dollars. The people who spend dozens of dollars or tens of dollars, however you want to describe that, are going to have a little bit of an advantage, but it's pay to rush really here in this game. So here you're seeing I just got 100,000 hit on that ability. We'll come back around and do another one. My camera is being like really zoomed in for some reason. Target it. Back off. See, nearly 4,000 damage there. So that was on the lower end of the dice roll for me. We'll just set this to auto. and continue on with our instruction here. So the point in all of this is go for a set. Go for a set that's boosting a skill that you care about, and level it up patiently, farm it intentionally. And what I'm meaning by that is go ahead and roll on other heads that you get from it. So for me, one of the biggest benefits of rolling into these sets instead of the regional pieces is when you get a regional piece, you get the regional piece and you don't get to choose. You just have to pray that you get good stats. And you can see a lot of times, I bet if we just hang out here on the main screen, whenever somebody on the server gets a 5-star piece, it's going to notify me and I can click on it and see the stats. And a lot of times whenever I like to click on the regional ones to see what people get, and a lot of times there's some subpar stats. So for one example, if I come into headpieces here, this one is one that I tried to roll really intentionally, get crit damage and crit rate. Unfortunately rolled into defense pierce. That's not terrible, but I don't love it. This one is one that I just randomly got dropped today. Crit damage, crit rate, defense pierce, attack, just like one of all of them. But the real thing you want to do is try to get a roll like this, which is double dodge rate. Crit damage decrease is helpful, but getting double dodge rate is pretty awesome. This one had double defense and status effect resistance. I think dodge is better than defense. People aren't building hit rate right now. It's just kind of a stupid stat, and you can't roll it on armor anyway, so don't sweat it. And then for my suit, I have crit rate, crit damage, and then a guard damage here. So the crit rate, crit damage combo, really helpful for me. Got double rolls on that one. And then I focused on getting this stamina recovery on my boots. So, because for Black Widow, in the current build that I have, which I think is the best Black Widow build, I was having a lot of problems with stamina. As you watch me cycle through all of the attacks here right now, you can watch the stamina drip down. After I've upgraded this, I don't ever run into those problems. I now can try to roll badges that have cooldown decrease to synergize that better. But right now it's I'm only barely capping out on stamina. I'm also not like way overshooting this. So I'm very happy with the build I have. I think picking the skills and then building the armor around the skills makes a little bit more sense. I know some other people like to have their kit pre-tuned to stamina. I don't think that that's a smart idea personally. I think you should do the skills that are really good and try to build around those. So for Black Widow, that means building some crit damage, getting a little bit of crit rate because I have high crit damage. I want to proc those crit hits sometimes without having to use my ultimate. But getting the specific damage with the ultimate and the max crit value there is really important. So a lot of words thrown at you there. The TLDR of this video, if you just ignore everything else I said, is focus on getting a costume set. Focus on getting some rolls on those costumes that are good for you. Keep farming up those pieces until you get one that is exactly what you want. And then once you get to 5 stars, I would hold. I wouldn't upgrade any of these to 6 stars quite yet. I think getting 5-star costume pieces for your character is more than enough to compete in any of the content. I can stay alive and do around 15 to 20% damage on any raid boss. I can easily bruise through Maestro and Laufey on auto. I just sometimes have to watch it to press dodge every once in a while, but not a whole lot of input necessary there. And I imagine once I get to 5 stars, it's going to be a piece of cake. So that is that for this video. I think if you are focusing on these tips, you're going to end up okay. But there's some more stuff that you need to learn. So tune in for my next video and we're going to walk through what that is. Until next time, good luck out there. Have some fun. Keep on gaming. Bye for now.